yourself from? Wow. Oh, sorry. Wow ain't here.
Nah, he
he
ain't.
he got some other things to attend to, but it's okay. It's okay. This is Bar for Bar, where we talk about hip hop culture and more. And today we got a dope show lined up for you guys. We talking about two of hip hop's personalities, is what I call
I would agree. Yeah,
them.
I would agree.
We got Cameron Killer Cam versus Noriega. N.O.R.E.
Whew.
This is a very, very interesting musical selection on who has the better bars, bar for bar, Cam or N.O.R.E.
I agree.
And we're going to start off with you, Miss. Who you come up with? What you got?
You know what? It's been a very long week listening to both of them. And I say long because I particularly don't care for Nori's voice. Like,
Okay.
he is. I can't take the high pitched male voice, and especially in his song, and even as an adult, right? When I was a shorty, I couldn't stand his song. What? Well, what?
Yeah.
I could not stand the song. Like,
That was my shit.
I like the rest of the song. That what is the chorus?
Okay.
If you could just cut that shit out, I love the song, right? So I'll admit, despite N.O.R.E. being a dope ass rapper, I could not stand his voice, and it gave me a headache to listen to him this week.
Really?
Yeah, like it gave me a headache on the first two albums, but I guess my ears had adjusted to it.
Okay.
But by the third album, it really gave me a headache. But I will say, I was very pleased and happy to listen to artists that started back then, so what, like the late 90s,
Okay.
that still putting out music today. I think that's real important
Definitely.
as far as, your contribution to the game and the longevity. That way, we are proud that you wasn't an artist that came in, put out a bullshit song, peaked after that one or two songs, then that was it.
Yeah.
Plus, N.O.R.E, he's still doing shit with the Drink Champs,
Yeah.
shout out. And through that, I'm learning that he's still staying relevant by
Absolutely.
helping other little niggas come up.
Fact.
I ain't mean to call them little niggas.
That's okay.
That's commendable. I love that about him. Cam, I'm gonna have to give it to Cam though.
You like Cam more than N.O.R.E.
You know what? They're kind of like both leveled for me, right? They aren't the typical East Coast rappers, and when I say that, they came from that era where we were bamboozled by, once again, those big words.
Okay.
So they came from that era, it was towards the end of that era. Nonetheless, they still came from, those rappers and shit like that. But they were very simple rappers. They didn't come at you with all those unnecessary big ass words that made you really go into the book and be like, what the fuck is these niggas talking about?
Yeah.
Before they got to the actual rhyme, But they spit very simple rhymes, which I appreciate. And I think on my Facebook page, I asked N.O.R.E or Cam. Of course, everybody said Cam. So to me, I feel like everybody chose Cam because he's closer to how we do shit in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
As far as how simple his rhymes are, but they pack a punch.
I can see that.
So it's like Cam, he's like that. What did that nigga just say? As far as when it comes to his bars, now both of them have very simplistic bars, but Cam, his packed a punch. You know what I mean? I was more entertained with Cam as opposed to N.O.R.E, when he's just kind of like, I felt like he was the Dr. Seuss of the two. It's like, it's a simple rhyme. It had me entertained, but Cam is just like, he's always going. And Cam is a more versatile rapper.
You think so?
I think so. Only because Cam, he got down to some gangster shit. He got down to Shirley Murdoch. He got down to, you know what I'm saying, oh boy.
Yeah.
Like, he got down to a bunch of shit. N.O.R.E, he was a black and white rapper as far as, how simple he is. And then, unfortunately, I gotta agree with the people on my page that say N.O.R.E was good by himself, but great with features.
Okay.
I gotta agree with that because at first, when I was listening to the first two albums, I'm like, bruh, this nigga got it. Like I'm liking him.
Yeah.
Aside from the voice, I'm liking what he's spitting, right?
Yeah.
But then when I started hearing him with other rappers, it's like, oh, so, and it's not necessarily a bad thing that
That's
he
kind of not fair though, right?
But wait, it's not necessarily a bad thing. He had the other rappers bring out the good in him. So it's like, sitting to himself, he's great, but it's like, kind of great. But when he got around other creative people, that shit brought something else out of him.
True. But it's kind of, like I said, it ain't fair, like, because, okay, let's think about his first features, right? Like, let's talk about that.
Right.
His first album, the features are, like, Big Pun, Cameron, Jada Kiss, like, those spitters, for the most part.
They are.
Right? Like, you got a feature with Big Pun. If you, like, we talked about Pun on the show. Pun, we was able to compare Pun with Biggie Smalls, right? Like, so to be able to do that, like, that's an elite rapper. That's an elite spitter. Jada Kiss, again, we've talked about him on the show. Like, that's another one of those guys who's super elite. That
a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, so, like, those features is kind of like, what you expect. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they gonna bring out those creative juices and all of that stuff. But from what I took on this battle, right? We got two of hip hop's best personalities. I would put it, right.
I can agree with that.
Right, like I've never took N.O.R.E as a lyricist. Neither can. Yeah. Neither one. Right. Neither one. Like I've listened to for them to be like, give me the most metaphors or give me bar after bar or nothing like that. I listen to those guys because I like N.O.R.E creativeness. I like Cam's creativeness and his wittiness, right? Like,
but see, I don't feel like N.O.R.E was that creative. But that's why I say he's a black and white artist. You know what I'm saying?
He was funny though. That's what I think. That's what I think about. Like, I think N.O.R.E was super funny with a lot of the stuff that he did, and I think that like that's why like that's why Drink Champs is as successful as it is, and because N.O.R.E has always been funny. And shout out to Yall for tuning in right now because he made this post about us since he wasn't gonna be here today, about us doing Birdman versus Diddy. And I flagged his post. I flagged his post because we're not dealing with you and your shenanigans, brother. You should be here right now.
Okay, the shenanigans is for Radio Raheem.
Exactly. Leave the shenanigans to Radio Raheem. And since you didn't, I flagged your page.
Yeah.
But back to Bar for Bob. I say, if I have to pick, right, I'm going with N.O.R.E. And I'm gonna tell you why I like N.O.R.E over Cam.
Okay.
It's one line, it's one song that I can't forgive Cam for. It's this line that everybody know this line. Everybody know this song, and when we heard Cam say it, he get killed every time. I keep computers putin', I get the ruler tootin'. Like, what? Like, what? Like, you keep computers puting? How do you compute a pewter? How do you pute a computer?
I don't know.
Like, what you talking about, bro? Right? Like, that line alone, I can't ever give you bar for bar over nobody.
See?
Like, ever. When you keep
in their entire catalog,
in your entire
that one
catalog,
line.
That one, when you keep it computer, he said something about a rooster, like it was terrible.
But
it was the wackest rhyme
everybody have their moments.
No, everybody don't have those. Like, tell me a Jay-Z whack moment, right? Everybody don't have those moments. Like, Fab ain't never had a moment where you like, yo, that's trash, Fab. Like, nah. I keep computers putin'. Like, you can't ever compare that. Like, ain't nothing ever. I ain't gonna say that's the wackest rap I've ever heard, but I can't ever put you over like N.O.R.E. Okay, I agree with what you said, right? N.O.R.E. ain't the best rapper. After a while, you like, okay, it's enough. But like, one of my joints is N.O.R.E. I keep was on the run eating. Like, that's my shit right there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, like, debut albums, honestly, though, they was probably, like, neck and neck on their debut albums, right? Like, Cam was a spitter. He was hungry. He was from Harlem. And Mace had, like, kicked the door open big time. And that being your homie, like, you got some big shoes to follow coming from Harlem, because everything from Harlem after Mace, not saying like Mace opened the door from Harlem, because we all know Big Yall and their whole crew and whatever, right? But like coming from Harlem after Mace, you had to be on your A game. And Cam came in doing this thing. I hated horse and carriage. Like, I wasn't a fan of that. Horse and carriage. We gonna rise to the top. Like, I did not like that. Like, that was like, I still don't get the song. But it's 20 plus years later, almost 20 years later, and I still don't understand. What are you talking about?
That's how I feel about what? That's how I feel about that song. Like, but I don't know. I feel like at that time when he brought that song out, we was moving into the entertainment stage of hip hop. So, you know, songs
but
like that.
Supercut was different though. Like, Supercut was put together different.
But those songs that was coming out, like Horse and Carriage, they didn't come out very often, but they started to come out and make their way into the spotlight.
That's a fact.
So I still had to, you know, be me, but I'm gonna kick this out here. You know, it was a lot of songs out for the ladies back then, and Horse and Carriage was one of those songs.
What is he talking about?
I don't know.
That's my whole point. Like, I have no idea what he's talking about. I was too, like, yo, okay, Cam.
The one thing that bothers me about that song is when he was like, I'm gonna give you the things that Gretzky skate on. And when the girl repeated it, she didn't say what he said. And it sounded like she said, Greggy Dion. He gonna buy me diamonds. Like, what did that bitch just say? Like, everybody was slow on the song.
Right, exactly. Like, what? Like, okay. But then, you know, Sex, Drugs, and Entertainment, that's one of my favorite albums, though. I ain't gonna even front to you. Like, what me in the world of you? My money, my car, my, like, that shit, that's, at that time, like, that, and still today is very relevant, like, because that's how niggas think.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. And I can't ever, I'm gonna start taking notes, I swear I am. There was, this song, with Cameron, and he's, like, I like metaphors. I like the funny part of, and N.O.R.E, he is funny. Very. He got a lot of funny ass skits.
Very. That's what separates them.
But Cam, in their raps, their shit is different. Cam is more funny in his raps than N.O.R.E. And I don't know, maybe that's what drew me to Cam.
Yeah, because he keeping computers putin'. Like,
the homie Frederick Harris said a lot of these rappers need hooked on phonics. That's the truth. Yeah.
That's a fact. But okay, so another, I'm gonna say this: Melvin Flint is what Melvin Flint the Hustler. Let me get this right.
I listened
Melvin
to that
Flint
one.
the Hustler, N.O.R.E is what separated the two for me in this whole debate, right? Because like, everybody know N.O.R.E from CNN, from LA, all that, right? Everybody know N.O.R.E from his first album, which was dope in my opinion, right? And I think N.O.R.E has been a trendsetter since he's got in hip hop. And what I mean by a trendsetter is like, we wouldn't know the Neptunes if it wasn't for N.O.R.E. He put the Neptunes in the game for real. Wasn't nobody getting beats from them before him, right? Like,
you know what? I didn't think about that.
All his, and he said all his big hits came from the Neptunes.
Because Pharrell is dope as fuck.
Fact.
I love Pharrell.
But from Super Thug to Grimy to Nothing to even joints that they putting out today, still like they've had this chemistry that the industry adjusted to. Like later, Jay-Z and Mystical and all them, the bigger hits came, but N.O.R.E is the one who like introduced them. Remember they had like a beat for $1 million that Nas supposedly bought. Did that ever come out? Y'all know?
No, I don't know.
Y'all remember that though? That like there was some hip hop talk back.
Oh
in the day.
yeah.
That like it was this beat everybody was bidding for, and Nas paid $1 million for it. Like you got to be super efficient to be able to do some shit like that. But like he's always been transcendent, and another thing that N.O.R.E has done that I took to my liking. Like shout out to Cam too because like Cam take chances on producers that we don't really know. Like the Heatmakers became a household name because of that Dipset anthem, that Dipset album rather. You know what I mean? That they made some beautiful music that again is legendary in hip hop. Also with Cam, like I like his chemistry with Kanye. Honestly, like Kanye likes Cam. Cam got some phenomenal records with Ye. That Purple Haze album is amazing.
Right.
Like it's a great joint. But when N.O.R.E, I think you said you felt like Cam was a more versatile artist than N.O.R.E. I think N.O.R.E more versatile, and my reason is because like N.O.R.E, like I said, he put the Neptunes on and he stepped into that realm. But when N.O.R.E jumped into reggaeton, right? He has a whole reggaeton album. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different animal. And like honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm a DJ. N.O.R.E is why I'm able to play reggaeton today because when that Oye Me Reggaeton came out, and sorry if I botched that, but that's you know how I know it.
Okay.
When that joint came out, like I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. From there is when I started getting more into Daddy Yankee and Don Omar, and shout out to everybody who like, damn, he knows shit. Yes, all that.
But see, I kind of disagree with you. Or okay, maybe it's because I've watched these documentaries and this other shit as far as them being Harlem and certain parts being a melting pot for all those different cultures and nationalities and shit. So when you say reggaeton, it's like, is that really a stretch for him? Because so many people that we know come out with that shit. Foxy Brown was a part of that. Like we have artists that's like, we have other rap artists that come out, and that's also a part of our culture. Like when we go to parties and shit, that's also played. You know what I'm saying, at our party. So for me, that's not that far fetched for him to go there.
I get it.
Plus he's Puerto Rican, so
okay.
All that shit. Shit kind of mashes together a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, he should be able to do that. I get what you're saying.
All that shit kind of mashed together. But when you got Cameron, where he can fucking have a Shirley Murdoch beat and Shirley Murdoch singing in the background, and he rapping his shit on there. He's rapping the more softer shit, so the ladies will feel it. As opposed to N.O.R.E, he's just always this hardcore rapper. Like I don't remember listening to none of his music, and he was, he got soft for a little. Fuck to this. Like.
Oh, so that's what it.
So that's what
it comes down to. Like, if you can't fuck the N.O.R.E,
I mean, you might, but shit, you might tear the nigga dick off while you trying to do it. Like, I'm a thug. What the fuck? But like N.O.R.E, you can feel that. You can get thug. You can shit to it, or you can just be chilling. So I feel like, or you can play that shit at a party and everybody be jumping at the party. So I really feel like, dealing with N.O.R.E, that's why I say versatility. You can do different things with N.O.R.E. I mean, with Cam, as opposed to N.O.R.E, you just kind of gritty the whole time.
Okay, so you saying like, cause Cam made joints like "Suck It or Not." Touch It or Not, rather, is the name of the song. But Ma, are you hugging the block? Like you could fuck to that, but N.O.R.E nothing. You ain't feeling that. Like okay, that's cool at the club, but nigga, I want to know if I can suck it or not. Like,
the one thing I didn't like about Cam though is that he did use that one line several times. I'm on the west side of Chicago looking for a bus down.
That's because he really was, though.
But he used that line, and I forget where else he used it at. And the homie Wow, he brought that to my attention. But he used that line a couple times.
Yes.
And that's the one thing that I don't really care for when
you recycling your rhymes.
Yeah, that recycling of the whole shit. Because it's like, that line was iconic to me.
Absolutely.
As far
because
as
he's from Chicago.
Yeah, and not only that, you just gotta love when you have a rapper from somewhere else come to, you know, another city or another part of the states, and they shout them out, or, you know, they use our language, they do all of that shit. So pretty much they adapt to us for that short amount of time that they here. But when you start recycling it, like it's iconic. You use that once, you get it up out of here. Yeah. Boom. That's your iconic line. When you said
it a couple times, it's like, okay, bro, how many times you gonna use that? And I feel you, because, you know, like, shout out to Cam, because he had an album about getting it in Ohio. And the truth is, he was really getting it in Ohio. You know what I mean? Like, that was a phenomenal album. It had cookies and all that joint on it. Like, Cam, what I like about Cam, too, is that Cam spit the truth. His truth, rather. You know what I mean? He ain't just out here rapping a rap or, you know, putting lines together just to sound cool. Like, he rapping his truth. Although, I keep computers putin'. I got the root. Like, I hate that. Like, I can't fuck with that Cam ever. But I respect Cam as an artist because his what he, I think I respect more, not, I respect him as an artist, but what I respect more is his right? Like, him early finding his legs and finding his way with his first album being signed to N.O.R.E and all of that, and then Sex, Drugs, and Entertainment, because, you know, I didn't know if he was going to ever come back after Horse and Carriage. Like, like Horse and Carriage, like, it was almost like he was following the Bad Boy formula without being signed to Bad Boy, right? When I heard Horse and Carriage, when I listened to the whole project, it was like, oh, okay, he decent.
Ooh, right? Bad Boy, damn, you just kind of introduced the, okay, I like what you were.
And that's how, honestly, Big was supposed to sign Cam before he passed, for the people who don't know their history, and that's why it's relatable to Bad Boy, that Big was going to sign Cam before he passed, and Big manager, was his manager, I think, whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
His business partner, we'll say that for lack of better terms that I know of, for certain. He kept his word and ended up signing Cam. They dropped the album. Then Cam came back with Sex, Drugs, and Entertainment. And honestly, after that, like, What Mean the World to You, like I said, it's one of my joints, right? But when he came, Cam went kind of trying to figure out. And when he came back with Rockefeller, like, let's understand, Cam trendsetted a lot of stuff in hip hop. Right? Like, first person that I seen wearing the pink chinchillas. He pulled it up in the pink Range Rovers.
I like that shit.
Like, jerseys became popular because Cam and the Dipset used to wear these long jerseys and had their jewelry and all of this stuff. Like, we talking early 2000s, 2001 to 2000, let's say 5. Dipset owned the town, and Dipset owned the United States.
Yes.
I ain't gonna, I'm a rocker on anything at that time too. G-Unit was around popping, but a lot of people was under that Bird Gang Dipset. When I say it like that, they know what I'm talking about. Like, a lot of people was under that, wearing the headbands, wearing the AI jerseys with the warm up sweatsuit. Like, if you in hip hop, if you was around, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Fab 2 was another one who translated the Mitchell and Ness jerseys and all that kind of stuff. Copy of Mitchell and Ness. Shout out to Mitchell and Ness for this plug. But yes, Mitchell and Ness, at that time, like, you'd have to have one. And they used to check your tag to make sure yours was authentic. Like, you wasn't just wearing like a Adidas replica jersey, that you was wearing the stitched in jersey joint. So shout out to Dipset and everything that they transcended. They even introduced like Purple Haze to the mainstream. Scissor, although 3 6 Mafia was already talking about Scissor and all that.
I love that remix.
It was a real drink that Cam and them put out for real. Like,
that Purple Punch.
Oh
man, you brought back up. I love that. Okay. I love that.
So you get it. Like, they like Dipset transcended a lot of stuff. Transcended. I keep saying transcended. Transcended a lot of stuff, right? Even to the point where they went west. Like, shout out to Jim Jones, because, you know, I know he was behind a lot of stuff when they came out with that certified gangster. Like paying homage to Eazy-E and all that. Like it's like damn, like okay, like this who these guys is, and I get it. I understand where they're trying to go and what they're trying to do, right? So I don't want to act like I wasn't a part of the movement and I was not following everything that they had going on. But I think what won me over with N.O.R.E was his consistency and him being able to be a part of CNN, carry the flag for CNN on his own, go back to CNN. Like the War Report is a classic album.
Of course, absolutely.
The War Report is if you've never heard the War Report, if you're 12, 13, 15 years old and you don't know what I'm talking about, go stream right now CNN's The War Report, and you will understand why people that y'all calling OG and old heads are so like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. Don't look for it like you finna bounce and you gonna hit your shoot dance and all that. No, if you want to hear some lyrics and you want to hear some bars and you want to hear some great production and you want to hear two guys who come from nothing rapping about, you know, everything that they've been through and they're going through and where they're trying to go, listen to the War Report, right? So I think that's what gave me the edge, honestly. Like the diplomatic community, Double CD was phenomenal. But just N.O.R.E coming up and being from Queens and understanding that whole Queensbridge left right thing and like all the things that they transcended, and even where they are now, where he is now, rather in his career with transcending podcasts. You know, like podcasts and his show Drink Champs is a phenomenal thing, and I love what he doing with bridging the gap between the young kids and the OGs and really giving them the history of hip hop, because I find it really dope that somebody who is and has been an active member in hip hop and contributed on the level that he's contributed is able to give us as an audience the history and those behind the scenes stories that we always wondered about. Like you could read the source and you could hear and read an article about this happened at this award show, or you could hear this in the Vibe, or wherever you catch your information from. You was able to hear that at the time, but to hear it from somebody who was literally there, or from an artist who literally, like, because I've been able to get some behind the scenes stories that we weren't privy to at that time, right? To hear Lil C's come on and talk about Biggie the way he came on and to spoke on some things, to hear Faith, and you know, you hear Faith and you looking at her, you looking at an R&B singer, but the way you view her after that interview was like, oh, she's a real one that we need to be like really bigging up, because she ain't just, you know, sitting back singing sweet love songs. Her voice is phenomenal, but like, nah, she from the hood, just like we all from the hood.
Oh yeah.
So I like.
But it's that image that motherfuckers portray though, because motherfuckers will never see Charlie Baltimore the way they see Faith Evans.
That's a fact.
And they both two high yellow motherfuckers. But it's that image that's portrayed out there. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, she seemed like she was the unsuspecting, you know, wife of Biggie Smalls that Lil Kim came in and fucking wrecked they shit. Right. But to be honest, I think Big was fucking with Kim. It was the other way around. You know what I'm saying? So you know.
So. Normally it's three of us to like break the tie, but this week we're gonna let the audience decide who y'all got. Y'all got Cam or y'all got N.O.R.E, because I'm riding with N.O.R.E, she riding with Cam, and we need somebody to break the tie. So we're gonna figure out the tiebreaker in the comments. Whoever y'all got, let us know.
I know a little homie can't even chime in on the show with us, so alright, that's good.
Little homie?
Oh, my bad. Neighborhood Wild can't even chime in on the show with us. He out there being Hollywood and whatnot. But
super Hollywood guy. Boy, I tell you, I understand these guys. You know, they get a little fame. Somebody noticed them in the streets from working, and then all of a sudden, oh, I can't make the show, bro. I got a booking.
That's right.
What? Like you couldn't schedule a booking after the show.
Now all of a sudden he on Showtime and whatnot. He
don't know nobody. You know, he get a couple features. Y'all see him in a taco truck on the shot. Now he don't know nobody.
Man.
Didn't even bring us a taco.
Catch him as an extra on Empire and whatnot.
Yeah, man. So yeah, y'all leave the comments though. Let us know who y'all got.
Definitely. And
we're gonna go on. But Radio Rahima, what else you got?
Hold on, but low key on my Facebook, because a couple days ago I asked and everybody was riding with Cam. And I thought,
and everybody on my Facebook was riding with N.O.R.E.
and you know what?
And I did that on purpose because I seen it. So I'm gonna be honest. I seen her put that out there, and they was all like Killer Cam, and I'm like, damn, everybody riding with Cam, and I understood why. I understand why or whatever. But I'm like, fuck that. Like the real ones know. The real ones know. Like.
But you know what? And
as soon as I posted it up, everybody like, yo, N.O.R.E, they ain't even close. And I'm like, yeah, they ain't even close.
That's what they said on math. Like, Cam, it's not even a what's name. So it's like at first I didn't even agree with them, right? Because I convinced him on why. You know, at first everybody was like, nah, N.O.R.E, he's only great up albums. And you know what? Saying that, he had put in all the work that he needed to put in to prove himself, and he like, fuck it, I just rap with other niggas. He ain't have a lot of features.
True. Well, but I think it was time because, like, being where I'm at now and knowing a lot of history as far as watching, the shows and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
His features at the time was his friends.
But what I'm saying is, so like for me, what I'm saying is, I think maybe I'm kind of retracting one of my statements on how other rappers brought out the goodness in him because I think he proved himself in his first two albums
that he could rap with
that
the
he
other
could
guys.
hold his own. But then it's just like, I don't know. Okay.
So you switching to N.O.R.E?
No. It's still Cam.
Damn, I thought
it's still Cam. I'm just gonna retract my statement that he wasn't as good a rapper as he was. He was dope in the first two albums and very minimal features, and then later he would bring on other lyrical motherfuckers, and it's like, okay, shit, we just had a lyric party then.
You know what? I was able to, watch the show and peep some more shit that N.O.R.E did. Do you know we wouldn't have Nelly if it wasn't for N.O.R.E?
Explain. Come on, hit this shit.
So,
because I was telling the homie Mario before we started. So we was talking about how rappers say crazy shit and it just kind of skate by. So Nelly, his dumb ass said, I'm a sucker for cornrows and manicured toes. It was like, my nigga, that's a pedicure. So, Okay, moving on.
Manicure it instead of pedicure it. That's a fact.
Okay.
What's his name? Kuda Love was Nelly's manager at the time or whatever, right? So they went to, I believe Nelly was on Loud. I mean, not Nelly. N.O.R.E was on Loud Records at the time or whatever, and they were looking to sign somebody, and Kuda bought N.O.R.E to not Kuda bought N.O.R.E. He bought Nelly to Loud, and was trying to get him signed, and they didn't have it in the budget at the time to sign Nelly. The realest shit in the world was N.O.R.E said, take it out of my budget. He needs that because N.O.R.E was just hanging out in St. Louis and understood. So N.O.R.E, they was able to sign Nelly. Nelly dropped that country grammar and $8 million later.
What?
Wow. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying about N.O.R.E though. Like N.O.R.E is he's a step ahead of hip hop. That's what makes him relevant today in hip hop because he's been a step ahead so long, right? Like he's seen a future before the future happened. N.O.R.E was the one that why Juvenile record went national. Now you looking at me and people like, what the fuck you talking about, right?
I'm saying, what the fuck is you talking about?
Juvenile Ha. The record was dope, right? That we all know that was a great record or whatever, right? But when he put it out, N.O.R.E was down in New Orleans working on the second album, which is Melvin Flint. And when it happened, N.O.R.E was featured on the remix of Ha, right? So if you go on Ha on the 400 Degrees album, which is a classic album by the way, you see two remixes. You see a remix with N.O.R.E that I have, by the way, and then you see the remix with Jay-Z that he heard once he heard Ha, because New York started playing it once N.O.R.E got on it, and when he heard it, Jay-Z got on it too.
What?
Oh.
So I ain't saying N.O.R.E is responsible for the record going the way it went, but once Jay-Z got on Ha, it gave people more notice to the actual record than, you know, what it would have had on its own. Well, I mean, you know, at that time, New York ran hip hop, right? Like everything went through New York. You was not getting on unless you had some type of affiliation or it was approved by New York. And unless in some standard, in some different cases, right? Like some albums we might hold dear to our heart might not have been as might not have been as prestigious somewhere else, right? Like let's say Twist the Adrenaline Rush.
Right.
We hold that dear to our heart in Chicago, of course, right? Like that album was phenomenal, classic album, right? I don't know how prominent it was in New York though at that time, right? Like Bone Thugs and Harmony, they albums, East 1999 is a classic album, but until it was pretty much quote unquote approved by New York, like it wasn't gonna be as prominent.
Wait, so you telling me while we all love Thuggish Ruggish Bone, we wasn't sure
until
if it was
listen and
fuck New York.
listen.
No, I love y'all. I'm just playing.
Listen. Look, go check out a bunch of interviews and listen to the like a lot of these old school artists, and they will say, and they say it in their interviews that we were trying to win New York. Once we won New York, we knew we was good because New York didn't fuck with everybody. Like it wasn't just a statement for the South when Andre 3000 went to the Source Awards and said, "Shit, New York ain't got love for the South." He wasn't just standing up for Atlanta. He was standing up for everybody. You know, everybody down there from Florida to the West Coast. Like, cause they if they didn't approve you, you wasn't on. Like they was letting any I ain't gonna say anybody, but imagine going to New York and you seeing ciphers with Onyx, CNN, and whoever. Like I ain't saying these is actual ciphers that's happening, but you get what I'm saying. Like you can go outside and you can actually see these guys, and you can go to these open mic showcases, whatever the fuck they got, and then next thing you know they sign. It's different everywhere else. It don't really work like that. Like somehow, some way, you gotta have somebody with a label, some money, some connections, whatever the case may be, right? So, yeah, like New York was what you had to win back then. Now it's a lot different. Like you can be in fucking Idaho with a computer, and you could be talking about my potatoes ain't rotten, I'm a good whatever, and then next thing you know, it's under a dope ass beat, and you gone. You know what I mean? Like,
shout out Nas X.
Right.
Like shout out the homie.
I wasn't trying to, but I was trying to listen. That's my shit. I fuck with that joint right there. He won with that one. So yeah. So we need y'all to like who win. I still say N.O.R.E.
I say Cam.
She say N.O.R.E. Okay,
I say Cam. Okay.
Cam. So we need y'all to decide who's
I
gonna
know.
win for
I
us.
say Cam. So new segment.
Talk about it.
Right? We're gonna talk about shit that happened in hip hop this week.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh. So first we're gonna talk about the Currys.
Okay, I've been waiting to have this conversation. I have not had it on my social media because I knew we was gonna talk about it this week. Let's go.
What's your take on it?
Well, first and foremost, we got to get the people what happened. So you tell them what happened. And
okay, so Ayesha Curry, she did an interview this week or last week on the Red Table Talk. And to sum it up, basically, she feels like she's unwanted. She doesn't get the attention that other women get. And she's a little insecure. We also learned that she has anxiety about Steve Curry. Is it Steph? Steph Curry. Sleeping with other women. Not necessarily sleeping with other women, but the groupies that throw themselves at him, she worries about that. And before the show, I was talking to Mario that, we're
going to call him Sketch Killer.
We're going to call him Sketch Killer.
Yeah,
so, I was talking to him, and, it's a very real fear to have, because you have men that has been taken advantage of.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
You have men that have been taken advantage of unwillingly. You know what I mean? Like, boom, you go in your room, it's a drink already sitting in there, you thinking a hotel hooking you up, and it's a bitch in your closet waiting on you to fall, and now you wake up to a scandal the next morning.
It's a fact.
You know, so
Jeez, I hope that never happens.
so I mean, it's very much so a fear, not that your man will go out and cheat on you, but a groupie will be so far as to get, you know, as to do something like that for the gain of, you know, for monetary gain. So, you know, she just basically, in my opinion, she showcased her human emotions, and she's been crucified for it.
Let me ask you a question. Did you watch the interview on the Red Table Talk?
I watched some of it, not all of it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I caught the important part.
That's important that you saw it though, right?
Yeah.
Because the reason I have not commented and I don't get in these social media conversations is because people take a 30-second or a minute long clip and base their opinion on it, as opposed to really sitting down and understanding the conversation.
Yeah.
So I watched the conversation, and the whole, I think it's 20 minutes, maybe 30-minute conversation that Jada Pinkett and her daughter Willow and her mom is having with the Curry dynasty, and which is Steph's mom, Dale Curry wife, which is Ayesha Curry, which is their daughter. I don't remember her name. My apologies. And Doc Rivers' daughter, who is engaged to Steph Curry's other son. I mean, not Steph Curry. Dale Curry's other son, Seth Curry. So it's a bunch of women sitting at the table, right? Which I dig these things because I love to see women like taking ownership of their lives and giving us their truth. Because you can't learn about a woman unless you're hearing it from a woman, right? So I dig shows like this and topics like this, right? So watching the entire interview, when Ayesha Curry said what she said and social media ran with it, I had to figure out what the hell she was talking about, right? And when I watched it, I'm a married man, right? I got a family and all of that stuff. So I watched it and I understood exactly where she came from. Because she didn't come from a place saying that she want to have sex with other men, that she want to cheat on her husband, that her husband does not make her feel desirable, that her husband is not doing his part in making her feel beautiful or nothing like that. What she's basically saying is she's had kids, that she's, you know, she battles with anxiety and depression at times, and that she's fucking human, and that it would be, she does not, like, as a husband, I can tell my wife, you so fucking fine or whatever, all day long. And sometimes she might just take that as for face value as me saying that because I'm her husband, that she feel like that's my job, that's my duty. She don't really understand it, or she might not understand it until, you know, other men is hitting on her or saying whatever the case may be. And I took that exactly for that, because as a man, like, we go through the same shit too. Men, it's just a lot of men that ain't gonna speak that truth about it. Like, I'm an older gentleman now. Like, I ain't a young boy no more, right? Shit, at one time I was getting us good. Shout out to the gym, because I'm in the gym. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm losing my hair is thinning and all kind of shit now. So as a man, like, at times we feel like, shit, do I still got it? And then somebody might say like, oh, you so handsome, but yeah, okay, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't that you always looking for the approval of somebody else, or you want somebody else to be like to justify you. But it just feel good every now and then, and it's just that it ain't got nothing to do with, oh, he make all this money and he providing for you. Why you need other men to see this? And anybody who's saying shit like that, 9 times out of 10, you ain't either married, or 2, you just
the issue.
Acting like you ain't insecure about shit, and that's cap, because we all got some.
That's the issue. There's a lot of relationship advice going on for marriage advice. And the only way that I'm able to feel like I'm able to give a little bit of advice, 1, because I used to study psychology.
Fact.
2, because I almost got married.
Okay.
And I went to the counseling for it, right? So you go and you talk to these people, they talk to you about what it means to be a husband and a wife as opposed to being a boyfriend and a girlfriend.
Right.
So that's a huge fucking difference. But you got all these people that's, oh, you know, she should have did this. My homie, you in a relationship. You could walk away from the bitch that you fucking with, who you done probably
Right
walked
now.
away from a couple times,
Right.
and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Or it's another thing. So from my perspective, I'm coming strictly from what women go through. And for the women that has never been through this, kudos to you. Because then they probably have been through it, but don't know it. I'm coming strictly from a woman's perspective when I say, you know, not to get all, you know, crazy on it, but even with our periods and with the pregnancies,
yes,
we have a hormonal imbalance and also a chemical imbalance.
100%.
So when that happens, it happens more for some women than others. When that happens, our brains start to play tricks on us.
Yeah.
Right? So we start to think that we're not as beautiful. We're crying for no reason. We feel like we're fat, even though we're probably 120 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our feet are too big for this dress. So whatever, you know, you become insecure about something. And you even have women, you know, and if postpartum depression isn't something for you to think about when it comes to this, not saying she's going through that, but that's something to think about.
But that's something that's real.
Yeah, you know, it changes us.
100%.
You know, and especially popping babies out one after another. You know, like I've only had one baby and my body has changed drastically.
Yeah.
Y'all can't see it, but I can.
Yeah.
You know, I've had surgeries
and
that
you feel it, yeah.
Yeah, I've had surgeries that nobody knows about that makes it harder for my stomach to get flat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, there's internal battles that we go through that other women or men, you know, don't go through, and you don't understand or even begin to know why she's feeling the way that she's feeling.
That's a fact.
But that's the society that we in now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not going to try and understand why she's feeling this way. We're just going to condemn her for feeling this way.
Yeah, like my wife, and babe, don't kill me because I got to say this. Like, my wife, we've experienced some things that made me like, yo, what's wrong with her? Like, we ain't like fucked up out here. We okay? Like, every time I look up, it's like she mad about something, stressed out about something, and I had to like step outside of myself, to not put myself in her shoes because I can't ever do that, but to understand her perspective. Yeah. And once I did that, I had to fall back, like, oh yeah, you tripping, like, you know, like postpartum is real. If she telling you this how she feel, if she's saying this how she feels, and then, like, it ain't got nothing to do with what you not doing or how you not doing something. It's just something that's controlling her right now that she has no control of. You know what I mean? Like she. And then, like, social media play a part in it. Not saying that my wife is all in social media and following that, but like when you see Beyonce then had twins and then turn around and she done lost all that weight.
She gonna do fucking Coachella.
You know what I mean? You like and look like she looked before.
Yeah.
You know, she had the baby. You like, how the fuck she do that? You know. But what we don't know is like, of course she got the money, but having the money has a different access. Meaning, she has a chef to put her on this diet plan that she ain't got.
But wait, hold on. Before we even get there, and I can't even remember everything that she went through. Before we even get to that, Beyonce actually went through
the same shit.
The toxicity shit, and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers want to take that money and think that negates you being a human.
Exactly.
They take that money and it's like, oh, well, she got this. She's living the American dream. Motherfucker, do you see, okay, not to take it to race, but you see all these white people living the American dream and how fucked up they still are?
Yeah.
Like,
and telling you they are.
Suicide is real. Depression is real. All that shit is real. And the money ain't taking that shit away.
Fact. So I'm siding with Ayesha Curry. You know, kudos to you, Steph. Keep doing what you're doing. Whatever your wife need, make sure she got it, because I know that's what you're doing anyway. And, you know, I've seen that they both put out super dope statements involving this. Like, it's fucked up for people to try to for living your truth. That's whack. Like, you know.
And this is a crazy thing. So this what, you know, where I go with it, like, everybody's wanting to bash her, but we have we have this double standard that we got to get over. And sometimes, especially when it comes to marriage, right? Because men are trying to side with Steph, but Steph backed his wife.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You can't side with Steph in a fight that he ain't fighting.
Yeah.
Because he, he on my side.
They're trying to make it sound like, he don't really know. He don't all of this shit. But imagine going through life and your mom is the only person telling you that you look good.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like,
Damn.
That's probably what she's hearing. Like, her kids, her daughter is probably like, you look cute, mommy. She don't have the intimacy from her husband because he's gone.
Or even if she do.
But she don't have it like we have it. Like,
but even if she
my
do,
dude.
let's just say she do. Let's just say she do.
Okay.
Even if she do, that's all she hearing it from is the people close to her. Even if somebody else saying, yo, you beautiful or you fine, like, it's a different thing than hearing, like, somebody who's not close to you saying, yo, you so handsome.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and
it's just your mama.
I'm not
good,
saying,
baby.
I'm not saying that you need that validation for yourself, but I'm saying, like, if you dealing with other shit, it could bother your insecurities. That's okay.
Let me tell you what's one of the greatest moments, and I don't know if men feel the same way, right? But when you in a happy marriage, and y'all are best friends, and shit is wonderful. Not saying you won't have your downtime. For a motherfucker to try to holler at you, and you turn around and say, I'm married. I got a man, and they be like,
I live for that.
You can't. Right, like, so you can't have friends? No, I can't. Like, that shit right there is epic in itself. And it makes me feel fucking awesome to be able to brag on a man that I got so that I could be like, oh, I got a man. I'm sorry. And niggas, of course, they gonna be like, bitch, fuck you and your man. Like, whatever. Their little ego's gonna be bruised or whatever. But it feels good to do that. But you can't do that if the only motherfucker telling you look cute on a consistent basis is your fucking 5-year-old. You beautiful, mommy.
I like your hair. You're so pretty. Thank you, baby. You love me so much. Like, damn. I was just at the store. They ain't say shit. The cashier didn't even be like, oh, I like your hair. Like, she just like, hi.
Man, that shit crazy. But moving on. So Nipsey Hussle,
rest in peace, Nip.
Rest in peace, Nip. Unfortunately, as always, it's a mess when things like this happen. And Nip, he was so early in his career. Well, not early, but as far as getting notoriety, and becoming well known across the country. He was still early as far as that. He was a sensation on the West Coast. But we were just learning about him. Some people knew about him, but we were really starting to learn about him. Unfortunately, due to his untimely demise, his brother is requesting to be the administrator on his $2 million estate.
I'm sorry, I'm playing bartender right now for the people who don't know.
So his brother is requesting to, be the administrator on his $2 million estate. And with that mess comes, the mother of his first daughter? His first child? Imani, the mother of his first child. She's trying to sue because she feel like it's owed to them or whatever. Even though she hasn't been...
What, all the money?
She feel like she should get something.
Of course she should.
I won't say that because she hasn't had custody of Imani for a while.
Oh, okay. Now I didn't know that.
Yes. So Imani was with Nipsey and Lauren.
Okay.
So now that this has happened, she's come to light saying, I feel I should get what I'm owed, yada yada yada. And also the store, unfortunately, from what I was reading, may be closed down, but they will probably go exclusively online.
Okay.
That can change, but that's just what I learned. But the sister at this point is trying to fight for custody of Imani.
The sister of the mom
of Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, of course.
Nipsey Hussle's sister, yeah. Because the mom, once again, wasn't very active in the child's life. And she's named herself China Hustle on Instagram, which is fucking crazy because she has a boyfriend. And unfortunately, it's just a bad example of a trash human. So.
That's terrible. Speaking on that too, I've seen that for everybody who waiting on their merchandise from the store, it's on the way. They got so many orders. Like just imagine, you can't imagine this, but somebody that prolific has passed, and they probably didn't even have enough merchandise to cover the amount of people that's ordering merchandise now. So like imagine a shirt that we made probably like, let's say 500 shirts, hoping we sell 500 shirts or whatever, even 1,000, and now we got 2 million shirts that, or a 2 million shirt order we gotta fulfill.
Agreed.
Like that's tough. And so like I seen people online like aggravated and mad because they want their shirts and stuff like that, and saying like, well, why they ain't sending out orders, but you celebrities able to go in and just buy the store. Like I get it. Like it's different that certain celebrities got a certain amount of access and stuff like that. But what can you do if you like? It's a difference between having merchandise and distribution, right? Like how many people was ordering shirts online prior to his death? Not saying that they were. They probably were, but it wasn't at this magnitude that they're dealing with right now, right? Like you might have had, let's just say you had 10,000 shirt order, like that's fine, right? Like you able to control that shit. They able to, you able to hit. Okay, I need this many larges. I need this many. This is how many shipping and whatever the case may be. That's different than saying 1.2 million on a shirt that they paid $30 for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like. Shit, we can't keep up with the demand of the shirt. Like, we need to get this dude over here to keep printing them out.
It'll be a while before people get their shirts.
And
all you can do is...
it's going to be a while. So, if you go in the store and they got a whole store full of shit, people it ain't like they specifically making this stuff for them. These celebrities just walking in and saying, give me everything in here. And they like,
but the store is closed now.
and they like, but I'm saying it's happened about 5 times. I think Meek went in there and bought everything. I think French Montana went in there and bought, everything. Like a few artists went in there and just went and bought every fucking thing. Give me everything in here. I'm saying to myself, like, damn, he bought everything. Like, what are you gonna do with a 5X shirt if they had a 5X shirt in there? But it ain't about having that size shirt in there. It's just about supporting Nipsey at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So if you did that, is getting your shirt more important than supporting the cause, which is Nipsey Hussle? You gonna get, especially if you eventually get your shirt. You know what I mean? You're gonna eventually get your shirt. But look at the bigger picture. You supporting Nipsey.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you just want your shirt to say, I got my shirt and Crenshaw or whatever. You know what I mean?
Supporting a cause that actually supported positivity. Not you. Positivity for the next generation coming up. You know what I'm saying? And speaking on that, another devastating thing with him and his estate is he didn't have a will.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And unfortunately, despite how much good he was doing, that right there just goes to show you.
So how does that work though? If you don't have a will, like who?
They go through shit like this.
Right.
Like his brothers.
But I'm saying like, so who's able to like take responsibility because he wasn't married? So like if I died, my wife takes responsibility of me and
it's gonna be his
and my DJ
relative
equipment because that's all I got.
It's gonna be his closest relative, which is probably like his mom, but his mom may not necessarily be ready to handle that shit. So
even if she want to handle it, she can leave it over to so it had to be like a power of attorney thing.
Right, something like that. And then his brother, which is why he's requesting to be the administrator, because whoever is primarily holding the shit probably can't handle it. That's probably a lot to fucking handle.
Absolutely, because like now at this point, like his estate have succeeded his life, right? Like you gotta damn near have a board of trustees almost, or a board of some type of board to handle his estate now.
But
because
he hadn't made it there yet. See, and that's another thing.
But I'm saying at this point he hadn't, but now he has.
Yeah.
Like, and it's sad that it's happened posthumous or whatever. But like now, like his brother can be the main person, but they have to have like, it's almost like, and I can't say this because I know from experience, it's almost like Tupac passing, right? Like when Tupac or Big passed, like of course, like his mom is in charge, but Big had a wife. Like Tupac didn't have a wife, so he probably a better example.
Yeah.
Like Tupac, I'm sure they had to set up like the estate and who was getting what and how it was happening and all of that stuff. The difference is Pac didn't have no kids that I ever heard of.
And then, but the complication in Nipsey's life also, you know, he had left his mom's when he was a teenager.
Right.
He was living with his grandma, so it's just a bunch of complicated
it's
shit. Which
place.
is the reason why you never know when shit like this can happen. That life insurance is very much so important. If you in that life, if you in the game, if you were starting to get traction in your career, you need to make sure shit is secure. You know what I'm saying?
That's why, babe, you can have all my DJ equipment. You know, make sure my son get it. My sons or daughter, whoever want to DJ after me. You know.
So also in connection with this story, Eric Holder.
Yeah.
His attorney has dropped him because him and his family is getting death threats.
Well, he should have not ever took the case in the beginning.
That's
like
fact.
That was dumb as hell. Like it's almost like, which is a change of pace of this conversation, but it's almost like when you interview somebody who killed somebody else, right? Like, and I'm gonna put this out here because we talked about it on the show. It's like when Bankroll Fresh died, and you get an interview from his killer to explain his side of the story. It's like, why? Some shit just don't need to be publicized. Some shit that we don't need his side of the story. Like whatever happened. The people who was involved know what happened. The people, whatever. Like let that be dealt with that way.
Yeah.
Like that does not need to be a
on
media
camera,
trail.
they shot him.
Right.
That was that. Like
there does not need to be a media trail behind it to say, well, you give us your perspective of that story. You know what I'm saying? Like what's the point in it?
Yeah.
Like so.
What's the point of a trial?
So Eric Holder is entitled to an attorney because you know he's do his just due or whatever. But at the end of the day, if I'm an attorney, I don't need to take on this case to try to free him unless I'm going against what was put out there to say the American government set him up to do that, and in doing so. You have to be willing to put your life on the line, just like he is willing to put his life. I mean, that just like he was willing to put his on the line to do what he did, if allegedly that's what happened. You know what I'm saying?
But you know they waste our taxpayers' money on that shit. You know what I'm
saying?
saying? Like,
you know, like
Jeffrey Dahmer fucking going to trial. Like, we already know he was eating and killing motherfuckers and eating the ass. Like, why do we need to put him on trial? You know what I'm saying? Like. We already know he did it. We seen him on camera do it. Why do we need to put him on trial?
Like, why not just let the public defender handle his case?
That's
at that point, like if I'm an attorney, like even going forward, like regardless if I'm trying his case or not, Eric Holder, right now, okay, you step away from his case. How many cases are you going to try? Period. Now, like people gonna be on your ass for the rest of your life. For even trying to take this on, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, you have to think beyond yourself. You got to think beyond what you're doing and what you've done. You have to think about your people around you because everybody's involved within your actions.
So maybe it was a situation where he called himself like, yeah, the government set you up, blah, 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 and you know what I'm saying, the motherfucker. Like, yeah, okay, you can say this shit if you want to. And it's like, oh, shit, I'm in the catch-22. I can't do this shit no more. But, like you said, you got to think about that.
Like, they probably, I don't know this, but let's just say hypothetically. You know, that was the case. Like, the government, because Eric Holder put that out there that the government was supposed to pay him and all of that, right? So, allegedly, that was the situation. But let's just say you're saying all this craziness and this is what you know up against. And so your attorney is gonna fight for that to say that the government did this and this and that and that and that. You killed him because of these circumstances. Well, if I'm the government and I told him this is this and he was gonna get this, but you know whatever happened, and you're defending him, hell yeah, I'm gonna evaporate everything to your existence that's gonna not gonna put me at harm. I don't understand like why all of a sudden you understand that now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like This ain't like something that's just new. Like if this was the case, it's been like this since the world existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like why all of a sudden would you think like you was exempt to the fact that if they would kill somebody else for whatever they felt, if that was the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they would kill somebody else for anything that they felt like was detrimental to them, why wouldn't they kill you?
Right. Right.
So either you willing to die or you're not willing to die. And if you're not, stay out the fire. And if you are, go down with it. Like it to me it's really that simple.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the man is on tape. He shot him. Clearly shot him.
Yeah.
Shot him, walked away, came back, shot him again, walked away, came back, shot him again. Like that tape exists.
Yeah. So
it's this gentleman, you know, like, and it's sad to see like a lot of videos been popping up of like months prior to Nipsey passing that he was Eric was outside like some venue or some event that Nipsey was leaving from, and he seen him, and Nipsey stopped, shook his hand and hugged him, and walked off, and it's the same dude that killed him. Like it's sad. It's almost like if you ever seen the end of Belly, where they wanted DMX to kill the preacher.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like that same thing. Like I'm not saying the government put him up to that because I don't know that. But what I'm saying is like seeing how DMX was supposed to be getting close to the pastor and the preacher, and the preacher took a liking to him or whatever. Although it's different with Nipsey because him and Nipsey obviously had some type of relationship, some type of affiliation or whatever. That or whatnot. That you was able to get that close and kill that man, like 2 fingers in the evidence. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so moving on.
What else you got for us, man?
Deep. Soulja Boy, he out of here.
Free the guys, man.
Free the guys, man. To the guys is free.
Oh, God.
He out of
Free
here.
Big Soulja, man.
So on a probation violation, weapons probation violation, he's out of here. So he got caught with a weapon.
Well, one thing's for sure, he ain't gonna be cranking at no time.
Well, you know what's crazy, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the fact that he's been doing this press run and he's been doing everything he's doing as far as money wise and talking to other black people about ownership and all of that shit. I be feeling like the government be having a way of coming in and wiping that shit from clean. Like, okay,
the government.
I be feeling like the motherfuckers came in, snatched the rug from under his ass. Okay, you gone for a year. We need you to not be relevant no more. So
I don't really think they trying to stop that. Like, my thing is this too, right? Like, I agree with you with what you're saying. As far as that, like shit happens, like okay, you gotta chill because you wild. But my thing is this: if you're on probation, don't have a gun, bro.
I get that. I get that.
Like let your people hold that.
Okay, let me say this, right?
Let's go.
Because this is a crazy thing. How many people knew Bruno Mars had got caught up on some cocaine shit?
I learned about that. Was that 2 weeks ago when you brought it?
2 weeks ago,
yeah.
right? This shit happened a while ago, like a couple years ago at least.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He got caught up on some cocaine shit and nobody knew about it. Of course, there was a little what's name, but that shit wasn't across fucking headlines.
All the blogs.
It didn't cancel any money for him.
He performed at the Super Bowl after it, all that kind of shit.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like sometimes they go after certain motherfuckers and pull the rug from under them, because in a year, who's gonna be trying to fuck with Soulja Boy?
But this is why I don't understand though, like, because this was kind of where it's hit or miss for me. Like, if you take away Soulja Boy from hip hop for a year, do we miss him?
It's not necessarily about taking him away from hip hop, but I feel like it's about taking him
Taking
out
away
of the
his message.
loop,
I get what you
out
saying.
of his
Okay,
away from his message. So you have bitch ass niggas like DJ Academics and the Chipmunk Britney bitch who was behind him, like, why do you have so many businesses? And it's like,
oh no, that's what's her name? Brittany is her real name?
No, I said she. Okay, so let me explain to you why I called her that. DJ Academics reminds me of Theodore from Alvin and the Chipmunks. And the only way that I could think of her is Brittany from the Chipettes.
No.
Um, from the Chipettes.
Yeah,
because
no,
she's
talking
got to
about
be,
that.
you know, chiming along with this chipmunk bullshit.
Nadeska, that's her name. Nadeska.
I don't know fucking know her
Something
real
like
name.
that, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you
She
know,
called her Brittany.
what I'm saying is, like, you had him where it's like he was a full of life goofy motherfucker. So other kids latched on to the younger generation latched on to him. See what I'm saying? Now people that's our age, it might have taken them a little bit longer
For
to
Soulja
latch.
Boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was so goofy and comical, but it's like other little niggas that he could get that message out to because he is still like.
Well, not just that. Like he was like his generation. Our generation, of course, we come from like the spitters, the lyricists, the guys who like really like rap their ass off, right? His generation is all about having fun.
Yeah.
And ain't nothing wrong with that, right? Like if you talk, and I've interviewed a lot of them. When you talk to a lot of these young artists, like no, we've interviewed a lot of them. I'm sorry. Although on a show the other day, she said Radio Raheem and the Dream Team. It's hilarious. We've interviewed a lot of them to where Soulja Boy is their favorite rapper, or they felt like they was able to get into rap because of Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
Right? So you gotta commend him for that and respect that. But at the same time, so he definitely has a voice that people are listening to and aware of, right? And what I disliked, especially during his promo run when he was, you know, doing the interviews and all that shit, was where people were trying to like take away from. Not take away from his history as far as rapping, but taking away his message of ownership, which I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, like with the video game and with everything else he was trying to put out, they were trying to take away that message, as in like, why you doing that, or he lying about doing certain things, and this, or he copied off of Nintendo, or like whatever he did or he's doing, it's a positive thing, right?
Yeah.
And he's trailblazing the industry in a way that young or old, we should be commending him for.
Yeah.
Not, you know, diminishing what he's doing, right? Even if he's copying off somebody, even if he's lying about what he's doing or whatever it is, he's talking about ownership. The same thing Jay-Z is talking about. The same thing T.I. is talking about. The same thing Killer Mike is talking about. Like the same thing Dame Dash been preaching about. It's ownership. Like us owning our own culture, us taking over our own thing, which is hip hop, instead of continually sell off something that we created that's been happening for us since the existence of time. Which it happened with jazz, it happened with blues, it happened with rock and roll. Everything like that we've created has been taken away and eventually been, you know, been blemished to the fact that like if you shout out to everybody who, you know, tune into Apple Music or something like that. Like type in jazz, like whatever, like jazz and what's going on in the jazz industry right now, and it's not going to show us. But we started jazz music. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole different.
You type in rock and roll, you'll see the Beach Boys or Elvis, but you won't see Chuck Berry.
Exactly. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is where it all came from. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I commend those gentlemen who are taking the necessary steps for us to say, hey, understand that this is our culture and we own it. Like, understand ownership in it. And when you're going against people who own your culture, who want ownership of the culture, but you know you kind of scared to go against them, you got to be willing to die for it. And if you're willing to die for it, then it's worth it. If not, shut the fuck up. It's really that simple.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Cardi B and Nicki. Right? Not no beef shit. Puffy pink dress with a big train, which I'm saying motherfuckers be extravagant all the fucking time, G. Motherfuckers are always extravagant and over the top at the gala. I don't understand why Nicki and Cardi had to be the topic of everybody's. Oh my gosh, what the fuck is that?
Are you surprised about that though?
A little bit. The only reason I'm surprised about it in a negative light is because fucking Katy Perry walked in that bitch with fucking fake ass candles like she was a fucking chandelier. So I'm surprised that they saw them in a negative light.
Let's go back to why they saw the people in those two in a negative light though. Because the last time you heard about Nicki and Cardi and the Met Gala, there was a fight.
That's a fact.
So that's really what it came down to. It was about, what was gonna happen this year? Like, are they still beefing? Are they gonna still be, whatever the case may be? So I think that's where that come from. Not necessarily about what they necessarily had on and all that kind of stuff. It was like, how are we gonna keep them away from each other? How are they gonna respond to each other? Shit like that.
I don't know. I don't like
it's
it.
It's whack either way.
But see, they didn't talk about none of that. They strictly went in and talked about their dresses, and I didn't like that because I didn't feel that neither one of them had the worstest dresses ever. Like I really feel like they went in, they went along with the theme, and that was it.
Okay, let me ask this question because I'm a gentleman. I don't really know, and honestly, I don't really care. But I'm gonna ask anyway. What the fuck is the Met Gala? Like, why do people get dressed in?
It's kind of like a Studio 54 thing. Like celebrities kind of got wind of it, and everybody either for the Studio 54, motherfuckers just like, oh, we're free to do cocaine, yay! But for the Met Gala, it's we're free to dress up and do crazy shit and be exclusive while we do it. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, cause I seen Lady Gaga had on 4 outfits and she got all the praise in the world.
Yeah. And then she stripped down to her fucking underwear,
which is phenomenal. Shout out to her.
I guess if you like to see thin white women.
I like all women.
Okay, I mean I do too.
Skinny white.
I like the more shapely women. Did you see old girl from Black Panther?
Yes. Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
She was amazing.
I was disappointed a little bit though from what I saw at the Met Gala. It was one thing that disappointed me.
What?
Rihanna wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's the only I think that was my biggest disappointment. Other than that, honestly, I can give a fuck. I don't care what somebody look like.
I can agree with that.
It'd be interesting to see some of the outfits. You know what else disappointed me? To see some of the guys dressed in dresses
yeah, I ain't with that shit either.
But
shout out to my homie Kanye. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Kanye is the real man's man, right?
Okay.
As far as when you see them out together. We don't really get a lot of how they are, at home. When you see them out together, it's kind of like, I'm the man. I'm going to hold the door for you. I'm going to lay my coat down so you can walk on the puddle. And, my wife, she's the star. I realize that she's the glitz and the glamour.
She's the one for paparazzi. Let her have it.
He does that.
You show up in this dressed like Cher, and everybody ooh and ah over you. I'm gonna show up like Al Bundy.
For real. And he realized that. He have his own thing where he makes a fool of himself, but when we do this, I know this is your thing, so I'm gonna let that happen. Moving on. 50 Cent beefing with everybody.
Shout out to 50.
So, Uncle 50.
Fofty. You gotta call him Fofty in time. Yes.
Uncle Fofty, he's been beefing with everybody about every fucking thing. The main thing is fucking Tierra Marie. Obviously, she owes him a lot of money. $30,000, a little bit over $30,000 from what I read.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if people remember this whole beef thing. This thing with Tierra Marie and 50 been going on for a long time.
Almost a year now.
Has it been a year? I thought
Almost.
It was 2. Okay.
I
don't remember.
I want to say a year, about a year.
Okay, but so apparently her ex had a sex tape of, no. So she was sucking dick, and apparently her social media.
We're not gonna say
her social
apparently.
media was hacked.
We're not gonna say allegedly.
Her social media was hacked.
No.
That's the story that she's giving.
No. It wasn't hacked. What I've seen her talk say, and what I saw at the time, rather. So I remember this day vividly, right? Because from those of us who know the situation and know Tierra Marie, her social media went crazy one day where there was a video posted of her come to the face saying, yes, daddy, come all over my face, right? And me as a man who watched Tierra Marie's career for the not past few years, but from when she first stepped on the scene with Rockefeller, with is there any girls around in the girl? Y'all know the shit. I ain't know the singer. Sorry about my singing voice, but you know, like I've been a fan for that long, right? And I always thought, like, damn, she dope. Who the fuck is she? She bad, whatever, right? So of course her career blossoms and take off, and she become like this super dope artist who kind of fell back from being an artist for a while, but you know, like Love and Hip Hop have recaptured the limelight for her and all that good shit, right? So we've been watching her on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood and all of that shit, and last season we got to see like her social media hacked, or her ex at the time leaked some videos on her social media of her giving fellatio, for lack of better terms. Fuck that. We gonna say it the way I want to say it, right? She was sucking bro dick and called it to the face, right? Like, cause that's what happened. She was sucking bro dick and called it to the face, right? And I'm sitting there watching it like, damn. Oh, she nasty like that. That's what you want? Okay, that's dope. I get it. Cool, right? And so from there, 50 reposted it, and like it became this whole thing on social media where 50 ended up getting sued, and the boyfriend ended up getting sued, and it finally came out that the boyfriend leaked the videos, and 50 had nothing to do with nothing. And which I never thought 50 had anything to do with the situation.
But apparently they was friends.
Whatever. Let me be clear about some shit, right? If something hits social media, there's this thing called the repost app that I want to say 98%. I could be wrong, and fuck you if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna go with this statistic as if I'm right. 98% of people who are on Instagram have the repost app because you want to repost a picture or a video that somebody has. So as soon as that video hit the airwaves, bam, you don't know who catching and who looking. So when it catch, bam, I hit it, I put it in my repost app, and I'm gonna talk my shit. Now let's be clear. I ain't defending 50 Cent, right? But I'm gonna say this. Anything that hits social media that catches his attention, that he likes to talk shit about, he's gonna take it, repost it, and talk his shit about. So when he saw Sierra catch this nut to the face, and he might have known prior, like his boy might have, if this his associate, whatever, might have said, hey, blah 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 blah, whatever the case may have been. Once it hits social media from her page, everything is free game. So I say she posted that. I mean, so once that was posted, you can't blame him. So,
okay, so from what I read, it made it seem like 50 Cent was the only person that shared it. No?
No, he was the only celebrity that she felt sick.
But he trolled the fuck out of her, though.
He's supposed
to. Okay, so that's where it come from. So, with that being said, she probably was kind of stupid for taking him to court. Because if you're going to take him to court, you got to take everybody to court.
Right, like, the thing is this, like, most celebrities, I think didn't repost it. I think he was the only celebrity. But the thing is, like, he has a big platform. His platform is huge, especially on the gram. You know what I mean?
Well,
so for him to talk his shit and whatever the case may be, and him having an affiliation with Ro, like, I get it. It became a huge thing or whatever. The attorney saw shit different. The courts saw shit different.
Ooh, yeah.
When she owed Ro his $30,000.
Well, and then
give Ro his money.
Also, apparently someone owes him $250,000. But somebody
just paid him $2 million.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
But apparently somebody only paid him $247,000. And he like, hey, where the fuck is my $3,000 at?
Jackie Long.
Where the fuck is my $3,000 at? And motherfuckers like, oh, you got money, yada yada yada. But it's just like, hey, bruh.
You owe me $3,000.
The motherfucking light company don't give a fuck if you ain't.
Like Jackie
motherfucker pay them. They like it's only $3,000. That motherfucker say so. You got Cash App then.
Hey, listen. Jackie Long did
did cash out him that $3,000, which is what made it that much funny. Like, yo, this mob worse than the bank. Bullying everybody to get his bag. I ain't mad at him.
Well, I mean, that's how it is, though. You give a motherfucker give you money, you gotta pay him back the full amount. You can't short the loan company with their interest.
Listen,
Shit, why the fuck?
If I loaned you anything, right? If I say, if you say, MH, can I borrow $5 and you give me $2, I'm on the gram on your ass. Where my $3 at, bro? You owe me $3. I need my money.
I mean, shit, Sprinter cut you off for a quarter. So.
Oh God. So I need my $3. Run me my money. I ain't mad at 50 because that's what he calling himself, 50.
That's all you can say. But when it comes to 50, I do kind of feel like sometimes I feel like 50 is a high school bully. So until another high school bully come and like be like, nigga, I'm gonna go up against you. I think the only person that's give him a good run for his money is Tekashi.
No, they was on the same side.
But 50 was still talking shit about him. He was talking shit back to 50. As far as when I say that, like the comical way, it didn't get all crazy, but like everybody else gets sensitive as hell and they be wanting to go back and forth with 50 and all of this shit.
Like you can't, listen, you gotta be willing to go there with them,
Yeah.
Right? Like, ain't no just like halfway doing it or subway doing it. Like, you gotta go there.
But see, I was telling the homie, wow, when you trolling.
Wow, did you hear what she said?
Yeah, I don't think he heard. Okay, hey, brother. Okay, so what I was saying was when you trolling, because apparently I've been deemed a troll, which I don't think so.
You said deemed? Oh no, you're a troll.
I don't think so.
Okay.
When you troll, you have to do it without emotion, and you also have to realize that when you're going in and fucking with people, that you as a human being also have shit that they can fuck with, but you can't allow them to see your weak spots. So they gonna laugh about some shit you posted, but it's like, yeah, so what, nigga? Everybody else fucking saw it too. What about you looking like you sucking dick out of a straw though? To a man.
You see, okay.
To a man.
So for the people who think she's not a troll, she just clearly showed.
I'm just saying.
She just clearly showed her trolling expertise. So you're not a troll?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
You're in the troll.
In order to be in this game, you got to be able to do it without emotion. I am a person that's able to go through life without emotion in certain situations, but I'm not a troll.
That's a lie. You a person who don't give a fuck about social media for real. So you can talk your shit and don't give a fuck about what somebody else say because it's social media. You don't really know.
That's a fact.
Right.
That's a fact.
So you are a troll.
But shout out to 50.
So you are a troll.
No. So shout out to 50 though, right? Because I always tell the men around me to not drink out of straws in clubs, right?
No, nigga, I don't drink out of a straw, period, because of this conversation.
Like, so I'm like, I think it's, you know, if a man is a manly man, it look like, it look feminine. Like you in a club and you talking to your homie and you trying to find a straw with your mouth instead of. So me, when I'm doing
once she came was talking this big shit about this shit, I swear to God, I'm risking hepatitis B every night drinking this Hennessy straight from the glass. Cause I don't even know if they wash the glass for sure or not. But I'm risking hepatitis B. Just because she said, nigga, you don't want to be like looking like you licking from a straw, and then you talking to your homie, and I started thinking about like, yo, that shit do look wild. You know what? I'm gonna drink it from the glass.
So like even
I'm risking hepatitis.
So even as a female, when I'm in a club, I get my straw with my fingers and I bring it to my mouth. Like if I'm talking and I don't know what my straw is, you're not finna catch me going, yeah, girl. Like you look crazy as hell trying to find a straw. But then 50 surfaced that video of Buster trying to find a straw.
I can't stand her.
Shortly after I said that video came out and it was like, boom. That's exactly what the fuck I was saying. You don't want to do that.
That's a fact. And then since then, you don't see no straw in my drink.
Shout out Uncle 50. I'm sorry. Shout out Uncle 50. Yeah. Last but not least,
let's go.
Drake dad said he's a really good father, despite him not being a good father in his life.
Drake dad said that Drake's a good father?
Yes.
Oh, that's how it happens most times, that right? Like if your dad ain't there, you want to be better than him. So I can attest to that.
That's all I got for today. Fuck Drake Dad.
You said fuck his dad. Why fuck his dad though?
I mean, if what Drake rapped in the songs, you know, fuck him. I'm not the forgiving type.
I ain't mad at you for that.
You know.
So yeah, this has been Bar for Bar, and like we both agreed that N.O.R.E was the best artist.
I said Cam. I prefer Cam. Neither of them are lyricists, but I ride with Cam.
She ride with Cam, I ride with N.O.R.E. And we had a whole bunch of other dope shit we talked about, right? So shout out to N.O.R.E. and the whole CNN camp and everybody over there at Dream Champs. I'm rocking with y'all. Shout out to the Dipset as well. Like we ain't gonna front like y'all ain't doing y'all thing. But you know, I'm riding with N.O.R.E. She got Cam. We gonna take everybody else advice in the comments and y'all tell us what we think. Shout out to my boy Wow. What's good, bro? We appreciate you.
Baby.
You know, neighborhood Wow.
Yes.
Whatever. This has been Bar for Bar. I'm DJ M.A. Tutter. Follow us at Bar for Bar Hip Hop Show on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube. Go to the Facebook pages and like us on Facebook. And also follow us on Instagram and follow me personally at DJ M.A. number 2 DA all over social media. Where can they find you at?
Radio Rahima or Radio Rahima 312 on all social media platforms. China Me Please on Snapchat.
This has been Bar for Bar. We out.
Kirk out.